the Igbo elders and the youths have backdoor channels of communication, and the elders know that the youths do not have the capability or even the sophistry to instruct stand-downs for the police, because that was just what we saw. When it started, we kept quiet. So the minute we came to Were, and I was that dance of 3 hours, 20 minutes, and we noticed two key things. There was stand-down maintained by both the police and the army and the DSS for all the period of that operation. So we now understood. So our fear was some of the boys they removed from Owerri prison, they will now use, you know, a fifth columnist, apart from the unknown gunmen, which for me is a replication of the old Nadeko, you know, games of false flag operations. But I think so far the East has come together. They have been forced now, due to the foreign aggression, to actually come together. And as you saw, the Asaba declaration was a culmination of the belief by all leaders that this quality of violence across the country can only be instrumented by the organizations from the very, very top. Only somebody above can instruct a stand down. Go speak privately to any security person and will tell you that. So once we saw that, that was just a trick, you know. Because if you ask me, I will tell you that the IPOB is nothing but just a propaganda organization. They don't have that capability, then they don't have the sophistry to instruct the army and the police to stand down. It doesn't work that way.
So if it's not IPOP, it's not, of course, the youths in the
South. It is the government.
Then it's the government.
Yes.
So
which government are we talking about?
Let me help you. What you're seeing is a replay of the old Nadeko-style false flag operations. Okay? And now you could just see in the northeast is Boko Haram. In the north central, it is herdsmen. In the northwest, it is called bandits. In the south, in the old eastern region, it is now unknown gunmen. And when you take a full picture of all that, you will see there is only one table responsible for the instrumentation of that total violence. It is the Buhari administration. There is nothing about that.
How is the Buhari administration doing it, and to what end?
Well, I think the strategy, they probably had intelligence that from the way Buhari has institutionalized nepotism, that all these things which he has created as a reaction to his employment of nepotism, separatist organization, could actually threaten the country's stability. And probably the way to stem anybody going anywhere is to station an army of occupation in the old eastern region. And to do that, you need to instrument this thing to just bring in. Look at it. You have Boko Haram, you have the bandits, you have the Fulani herdsmen inflaming the entire north. And it is the east where you want to come and make what for?
How come the disturbances in the southeast worsened after the military raid, you know, in Olu communities? And did you also hear the response of the IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu after one of his militia, you know, gang leaders, you know, was killed? Yes,
from information we had, the boy was seized by the authorities, killed at about 4 o'clock in the morning, and then by 8:30 they then did that strike in Governor Zodema's house. After they had also killed 2 people at Doguta Junction, killed some other people at Omoko, straight on that road, burnt on that same day the Asaba police station. For us, the depth of the sophistry is simply why we knew this is something similar.
But did you hear or did you read Nnamdi Kanu's position or reaction
Kanu's propaganda
to the killing?
Don't move me. Let me help you. Nnamdi Kanu's propaganda, they don't move me, because what I do, I have back channels. I do investigate. Actually, from that period, I was in Olo. The minute those boys were released from Owerri, I knew some of them will later be held and be used to say either you go back to prison or you help us to implement fifth columnist actions. And we see it. So apart from going to the bush to harass herdsmen who seize farmlands, the boys have no capability for all this, you know, incredible instrumentation you see over a country. So for me, I knew this, and I've been on this very long time. And when I went to the north, the reason I went to the east is I got a whiff of it from the United Kingdom, that the United Kingdom government was going to make a very important decision in regards to the Nigerian problem. So instantly I knew the government will, in line with the advice I got from the UK,
Dr. Katch, I'm not sure you provided enough or sufficient explanation as to why you feel that the Buhari administration would be responsible for the attacks on police formations and personnel, which it needs to deal with insecurity across the country.
I don't feel, I know. When I see these things, remember my positions on television, on this studio, when I went to the Northwest, I went to Kankara, I went to Kwatarakwashi, I went to as far as Alawa, took bikes into Dogongona. I know what I saw. When I went to Dansadao, and then from Dansadao, took bike into Malele, I know what I saw. So when I kept following that, I came on television and I shared it with Nigerians. I said, this is what I saw. And these people I saw don't speak Hausa, they don't speak English, they speak Bambara. Now, it took time for the country to understand that everything I was saying is true. So when it now came also in the East, I told myself, I have to go there. And when I went, I saw the same thing. So for me, I'm not surprised that the cascade of violence across the country is being done because the federal government has not done enough to stop it.
But Dr. Katch, I mean, the logic would be, wouldn't the federal government be indicting itself? I mean, it's getting bashing all over the place, within the country, outside the country. You will ask yourself if they care. Of not managing the security situation in the country. I mean, it's deteriorating every day. Good. The president is begging for foreign assistance. So why would a president also indulge or allow, whether deliberately or, you know, whichever way, such to, you know, drag into the southeast of the country, which is relatively peaceful? Well,
I could also tell you from my investigations, I found out that even if we give them the whole of Nigeria, and we don't give them areas, wetlands, with water and grain, they wouldn't take. That's why they are fixated on Taraba, on Benue, on Plateau. So the downstairs also has that kind of vegetation. And then, because Buhari has not allowed for a prosecution of these people, that's why the security services stay hands. Not that we don't have the capability within the security services. We do.
Dr. Katch, how then do you explain the fact that the number of arrests we've seen, mainly in the south, is has been people associated with the ESN of the IPOB?
Oh, it's very easy to arrest prisoners and then put flags near them. Did you see that the picture posted for that boy, Ikosi? Amongst them was a knife that you had exhibit number marked on it. I was very detailed in checking out those things. And I said, you mean you just cut them now in the bush and you have a knife with exhibit number on it? These are the things you look at. I train my eyes. And once I went to the east and stayed, it happened in Owerri. It stayed for 3 hours, 12 minutes. I was in Owerri, actually. And nothing happened. I laughed. So later
you're talking about the siege on the
siege on the police headquarters, which is beside the
correctional center.
The correctional center and the government house and the Rockview Hotel. Okay? So most of us could see what was going on. So I'm not surprised if you catch boys and then they sing Igbo songs. The state has everything. Nadeko. I was in Ikeja when bombs exploded. Marwa thought he was being killed. On private investigation, he found a general from Abuja was in charge of that. What did Marwa do? He purchased a B5 armored G-Wagon 500. I knew I was in Lagos. So I'm not surprised about this false flag activities. What we are begging the federal government is please help. Stop the killings in Kaduna. Look at how bad Kaduna is right now. So when the governors understood that it is a quest for land that is bringing all this problem, they said, please, let's not have them. And Ganduje is honest. Ganduje said, look, stop the foreign headsmen entering Nigeria with guns. I agree. Where they are fighting in Mali, Cote d'Ivoire, it might be dangerous, so they can take guns to come here. But if they come to Nigeria, take the guns off them. Why would you disarm everybody in the country and only them will hold guns?
Was the decision about, say, you know, the quest for land or the insecurity associated?
The quest for land is at the heart of the current Fulani aggression against all ethnicities across Nigeria. In Adamawa, they are fighting against the Bachama. In Benue, the TV, the Idoma, Digede and Agatu are not sleeping politely. In Plateau, 58 Biron villages are sacked in Riom, just southern Berkenlade. The Yorubas formed Amotekun because of this problem. And now, the East formed Ibubaga because of this same problem. Now, it's not stopping because President Buhari is not sincere. It is his words to the service chiefs that force them to stay hands. Service chiefs normally should swear their oath to the Constitution. But in Nigeria, their oath seems to have been sworn to President Buhari. And that's why you've seen the Southern governors had to come together to make that declaration. So that, for me, is a first step. They don't need to consult anybody. Why? The states that declare Sharia didn't consult Southerners that were in the hotel business or where they came from. So I don't think any governor should consult the aggressor if he seeks intentions to protect his people. That's not done. I believe, Governor Ganduje, the idea of allowing foreign Fulanis come into Nigeria anyhow will, of course, bring this problem. Land. And that was why I campaigned when Buhari was asking for grazing land. I said, no, this is not agricultural initiative. It is land to settle these people from Central African Republic, from Mali, from Cote d'Ivoire. I have been to Mali. I've been to all these places, and I understand this issue. I've been selling it, begging him to please not do this. Now look at it. They've come in. The problem now, where do you settle them? So if they now run to Oyo Games Reserve to want to settle by force, who told you nobody owns that land? People own the land, of course. And you go to Gembu, of course the Kaka and the Pansa will not be allowed, will not let you take their land. And what did that happen? Those people traveled when they were driven from Gembu to Cross River. That's where they are right now. So most of these people you see don't speak Nigerian languages. That's why I saw you talking to the professor who said my governor should have gotten permission from him to make legislations to protect us. These are not Nigerian Fulanis. Nigerian Fulanis are in peace wherever they are. They are not the ones I grew here as a child. Nigerian Fulanis don't kill Hausas. This is the first time I see people kill Hausas in Katsina, Zamfara, and Sokoto, forcing the Hausas to form Yansakai their own. And that was what made me to come and start crying. Why? This is the people I grew with. Why will I go back and I say, Umar, Yakukai, and he will tell Ada Kashehu. Why Ike Kashehu, we Poladi? Sabo de Mega, Palata ina Kasha Hausawa. I've never seen that before. I've never seen that before. That's why these are very, very unprecedented times.
Dr. Katch, the Southern governors may have made, that positions clear, and we understand that the state legislatures are making moves to create a legislative backing for it. But at the same time, does that solve the problem? Because it appears we already have a situation where the ants are already everywhere. In Benue State, for instance, an anti-open grazing law was signed by the state government. But 3 years after, killings are still very prevalent in Benue State. Does that solve the problem, what the Southern governors are doing?
It does solve a problem. It's a beginning. You have an active federal government behavior to undermine the rule of law. When the states in the Northwest implemented Sharia, nobody went there to undermine their law. When they set up Hizbah, nobody went there to undermine it. Obasanjo allowed it to stay. Why should President Buhari actively undermine the need of these people to self-protect themselves?
How is he actively doing that?
Because it is him who instructs the police and army to undermine the governors and those laws. If not, the laws will stay. The laws will stay. The laws made and passed by State House Assembly should be allowed to stay. Autumn left APC, came to PDP because, yes, you can't be fighting to extricate yourself from crocodile bite, whereas you're still in the swamp. He left the swamp, and they still are fighting him. For me, Autumn should be joining the Southern governors in subsequent meetings.
Can it really work? I mean, even when the law has been passed, when you don't have the instruments of force to implement the law?
See, the important thing...
Because I think that's what's missing in the case of
It's an emotional thing. Now that you've seen that the president, the federal government actively promotes this insecurity, you don't have to wait for him to send those who will protect you. You now set purpose towards protecting yourself, which is what people are doing. Everybody is resorting to self-help. Why? In every family, if the father does not set purpose toward protecting his wife from the misbehavior of his brother, you will notice that the children will quickly form a self-help group to protect their wife, their mother, and the family.
Now that open grazing has been banned in the southern part of the country, what's the alternative? Because people still have to consume meat, and that business has to go on.
We consume meat. I consume goat meat. I consume fish. I consume a lot of sources of protein. So, and since this cattle business is like poultry business, is like piggery, it's like snail husbandry, those who involved in this business should set purpose. Now that Governor Ganduje has said, I am Fulani, I want to help. Let us see if true, they're talking about grazing. Don't forget, up to 85% and to 90% of the beef we consume are not beef from Nigeria. They're imported. So since they come in, Ganduje is right. He says, as they come in, stop them from holding guns. Because if they hold the guns and then they go in to try to use those guns in the bush, because once you're with gun, it's like an aphrodisiac. You know, it's like a woman passing your face.
So are you advocating ranching?
Ranching is a business decision. If you want to do poultry business and you buy a lot, you can't be able to put them in one place.
Should southern states offer their land for ranching?
I think already the governor of Bayelsa is providing such things for ranching. And what he's providing is if you come there, you register yourself, and if you register yourself, you will pay. So I don't see any problem about that. For me, ranching is the best thing. Let me tell you one thing. We love Nigeria. I keep telling people the reason I like Nigeria is because it provides me a bigger field. Why should I take a shot of brandy when I can own the entire carton?
All right, let's move here quickly. Another outcome of that Sabah meeting by the Southern governors was the call for restructuring. You know, at a point, the president did say that he does not understand what those who are calling for restructuring really mean by that political concept.
Don't forget that during their debate, during the campaigns, during the manifesto, restructuring was the number two thing in the APC's booklet. So it's not called. There are people who feel advantaged at the way the soldiers have written the decrees. But we are saying soldiers have gone. That vehicle we're moving with, it cannot serve us anymore. Let us sit down and redo it. That's why we're begging President Buhari, please, be a Nigerian president for once and let us have peace. Listen, nobody wants problem. All of us want something good. That's why I am on the same page with Governor Ganduje. He was good when he said, and there are a lot of people who say this. So why do we have to undermine our country? It's not proper now. If anybody commits offense, arrest him. The other day I was listening to a U.S. public hearing and they were saying that none of those people who have done this thing have been arrested. What does that mean? Well, we know in country, already outsiders also know it. Let us work to save our country.